Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition rate. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support at sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give a shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international war-winning author Mian Molson Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Mian Molson Zia, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing by Mian Molson Zia's Garn has basically just simply a fast-paced, very intriguing, and it's got a twist to it. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, and 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love be the first to go missing. It's available on paperback and ebook on Amazon. Missing by Mian Molson Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and enjoyed by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today before it goes missing by Mian Molson Zia, available on Amazon. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/the Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, and Apple. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn, and heard worldwide on Geo 7, Radio Public, Himalaya, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And check out our merchandise on the Mike Wagner Show podcast on Amazon. Some throw pillows, pop sockets, hoodies, t-shirts, and more. And for great gift ideas and more as well, too, go to amazon.com/MiaMosenZia and check out his books before it goes missing. And don't forget to support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM/support, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. We're here with a terrific gentleman from Toronto who's got a new book called Diaries of the Unbalanced Paddleboarder, The Crash and Rise, and he's a professional paddleboard coach, and he's got the book. We'll talk about that. It's great. Also a successful business owner, and also took a trip to India and inspire others, and an event that happened one morning, which basically end up being like kind of like a wake-up call. He talks about a rare syndrome, and talks about what it's like, but he manages to overcome, and he channels all the energy and encourages others to do so. I mean, he's also been a featured speaker, and the first speech, well, it's been an amazing result. So talk about that. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios in beautiful downtown Toronto, the board man, as we call him, the very successful and multi-talented author of Diaries of the Unbalanced Paddleboarder, The Crash and Rise, and the Rise of Mike Shoreman. Mike, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
Well, it's great to have you on board as well, too. So basically, we call you the board man, and I like to call you Mike. So since you're on the show as well, too, you got a new book called Diaries of the Unbalanced Paddleboarder, Crash and Rise. That's on Amazon. You're also a professional paddleboard coach and successful business owner, and you also it gave a number of speeches. You inspire a lot of people, and you also woke up one morning and had a debilitating disease. Talk about that and how you managed to overcome. And before getting into all that, Mike, tell us how you first got started.
Yeah, so really, I started stand-up paddleboarding about 13 years ago, when the sport was just kind of booming in urban cities. So for those who don't know what stand-up paddleboarding is basically surfing with a paddle to control where you're going. And I went on a lesson, and I fell in love with it. I was terrible at it. It was like so beyond anything that I was expecting, but it was like a blessing. And I fell in love with it. And I was terrible. Like, I spent 40 of 60 minutes like in the water, but I was hooked. And I just kept on at it, and I decided to go off on a find myself trip to India. And it was there that I had this kind of light bulb moment where I decided, you know what, like, I didn't know what I was going to do with my life, and I thought, no, like, I want to create something like amazing, and I want to watch people go from really bad like I was to being really good at this, and I want
Hmm.
to be the one who takes them there.
Right.
So I came back and I became a professional paddleboarder, which is crazy because like all of my parents are in the legal profession, so it was completely out of left field, and it was crazy, but it was awesome, and I built this amazing thing, and and I loved it, like working with people and watching them build their confidence and self-esteem while they were out there. And then I lost my and then I got really sick.
Mm.
So in November 2019, I developed a sudden neurological condition and called Ramsay-Hunt syndrome, which is a reactivation of your chickenpox virus.
Really?
Yeah,
Reaction of a chicken pox what again?
virus. So you know
Chicken
when you
pox
get
virus. Oh my gosh.
so
Wow.
when you get chickenpox as a kid, it stays in your system forever, and it can come back as shingles.
Ooh.
So basically, what this is it was shingles reactivating, and it attacked my ear,
Ooh.
and my face collapsed. I lost my sense of balance. I couldn't walk. Speech impairments, vision impairments, hearing. I lost. I've got amplified hearing,
Hmm.
and the doctor said, we don't know what's gonna happen here. Like this, you've missed the window for treatment, and we're gonna put you on steroids and hope for the best.
Mm.
And I went from being like this really vibrant, fit, athletic guy to not being able to walk from the living room to the kitchen.
Wow.
And my business, my identity, my social life, it was all gone. And and i i had to deal with that loss and that grief, and I feel like a lot of people in America right now are really struggling, like with losing so much this year because of what we're all going through.
Hmm.
um and I think that's why people kind of resonate with what I write about, what I speak about, because I've been there, and I know it. So it's crazy what's transpired as a result. So many bad things happened all at once,
Hmm.
but so many good things happened because of that.
Hmm.
So I've gone on to win North America's largest inspirational speaking competition,
Mm.
which is crazy. I've had Ashton Kutcher share my talks on his platform.
Wow. Amazing.
Um,
Is this similar to a TED talk that people give?
yeah, so it was originally Canada's largest inspirational speaking competition, and then they it turned into North America's largest. So Americans can
Wow.
compete too.
Mm.
So it was a live event, and when I competed, it was a live event. So I was giving a speech. I gave a speech in front of 300 people, and it was the first time I'd ever really given a talk. And it is
Mm.
similar to a TED talk.
Mm.
It was on a theme, and the theme was courage. And I gave a speech about saying yes to ourselves when we don't think that we can do something,
Right.
and what can happen because of that.
Hmm.
And an amazing thing, like I gave that speech thinking, I'll be happy if I uplift 3 people in this room of 300. Like I'll be happy. Um, I didn't expect to win. I didn't expect to, like, I hope to, but I didn't expect to win. I didn't expect for it to have the global reaction. It's been shared by Jay Shetty. It's gone on Power of Positivity, racked up millions of views.
Wow.
And I think the message is that when we get knocked off our paddle boards in life,
Hmm.
to climb back up,
Mm-hmm.
get back on that paddleboard.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds amazing. I was thinking about the whole thing with paddleboarding as well too, and you started when you're first on board and everything else. And now is that considered like a Canadian sport that's going on right now, leagues and everything? And is that like part of like international competition like the Olympics or anything?
yeah, so there's a World Championships. It's in the Pan Am Games. There
Okay.
are national championships. So there's championships in the USA. There's championships all over the world. And this year, because of what that speech did, um, it birthed a worldwide global movement.
Wow.
And because of that, I was nominated for this year's International Stand-Up Paddleboarding Man of the Year. Um,
Amazing. Wow. I've never
and
done this before. I feel like I'm talking to the godfather of paddleboarding.
and it's crazy. The guy who so I was nominated against world champions and Pan Am Games winners from different countries all around the world, and I won. I
Wow,
so
amazing.
I'm the 2021 International Stand-Up Paddleboarding Man of the Year. And it's crazy. The doctor said, your paddleboarding career is done. Like you're like, this is over. It's going to make you sick with your condition, and you're not going to do it. And I got back on a board when they said that I couldn't do it. And I got back on, and I lasted for 3 minutes, and that gave me the confidence that I could do it for 5.
Mm-hmm.
And that gave me the confidence that I could sit down for 7. And I just pushed through all the vertigo, all the dizziness, all the exhaustion until I could stand up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did the speech, and it set off this movement, and it all comes back to getting on that board for 3 minutes when they said that I couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy. Like the guy who won the International Stand-Up Paddleboarding Man of the Year 3 years ago, he won it because he paddleboarded from Morocco to Antigua.
Really? How many
Across,
miles is that?
it's a lot of miles. It took him like 40, 45, 50 days, 45 days.
Wow.
Yeah,
45, 50 days. Was it from
across
Mavaca
the,
to Antigua?
yeah,
Wow.
like
I,
across
I don't
the
know if I,
island.
I don't know if I could last like 5 minutes on a paddleboard.
I
Like,
know he won because of that. I won because I sat down on a board for 3 minutes and started a worldwide movement. Like it's crazy, but it's really cool.
Mhm. Now, is
Um,
that considered a world record for paddleboarding? Like 45 days?
I think so. He's going to be like, we're both doing big paddles this year. I will be the first paddleboarder with a disability to paddleboard from the USA to Canada.
Nice.
And I'm doing that from New York to Toronto in August. And in August, Chris, my friend, he is paddleboarding the Pacific.
Oh, nice.
And he's doing a big distance, a
Mm.
big distance.
So you're going from New York to Toronto. What about your friend on the West Coast? And where's he going to start? And where's he going to finish?
I'm not sure where he's going to start and where he's going to finish, but I do know that he's doing it with a kite. Like
Oh,
he's going to be,
that's
yeah,
innovative. Wow. It's like having a kite and paddleboarding.
yeah.
Oh, I'm all in on this one. I'm so
It's like
all in.
it's like we do fun stuff out there. It's a wild thing being on the water, and it's
Hmm.
so much fun. Um,
No, go ahead. I think about to say something. Go ahead. I love your
oh no,
story.
no, I was just gonna say, but I think at the end of the day, what it really it is it's a story of reinvention. And you can, like, I never saw, I built this life as a paddleboard coach. And when I turn my head from side to side, I get really dizzy now. And
Hmm.
that's after, years of rehab, of retraining my brain how to navigate that.
Hmm.
Um, and I never saw that, in my darkest hours, I never saw that I could transition into something else. And here we are, 2.5 years later. I'm now a corporate motivational speaker. I'm an author. I, train people and facilitate workshops, and it's amazing, how we can reinvent ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
um, and do things that, we never thought possible before.
Mm-hmm. And that's amazing too. I'm so eager to talk about your new book as well, Diary of the Unbalanced Paddleboarder: Crash and Rise from Victim to Thriving Survivor. We'll talk about that in just 1 minute. I'm so looking forward to it. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give an official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on paperback and ebook on Amazon. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, and 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love be the first to go missing. It's available on paperback and ebook on Amazon. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today before it goes missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, and Apple. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn, and heard worldwide on Geo 7, Radio Public, Himalaya, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And don't forget to check out the Mike Wagner Show merchandise on Amazon under the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And coming soon to MikeWagnerShow.com, you can check out throw pillows, pop sockets, t-shirts, hoodies, and a lot more. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia and order books and all kinds of goodies today. So check it out, Amazon.com. We're here with the board man, Mike Shoreman, here on the Mike Wagner Show, author of Diaries of the Unbalanced Paddleboarder: The Crash and Rise from Victim to Thriving Survivor, professional paddleboard coach, and a successful business owner. And we talked about, going on a trip to India, and also, having the disease of the Ramsey-Hunt syndrome. We'll talk about his book as well. But first, I just wanted to get a little more information about the syndrome and the Ramsey-Hunt syndrome, and just want to ask as well too. And when was that first discovered, and how many people are currently having it right now?
Right. So it is a very rare neurological condition. I think 100,000 people 100,000 people throughout the U.S. currently experience shingles every year. So in that statistic, there is people who experience that. One of the things that I did when I got it, was I researched people who had, I Googled famous people, my condition, and I found that the founder of P90X, Tony Horton, he
P90X. Oh,
so
yeah, okay, the workout guy.
Yeah, he's like, let's go from 0 to 100. Let's do it.
Oh, yeah, I remember those commercials, the P90X. I almost bought one of those. I was so close, but I didn't have my credit card. No.
So I Googled, and I found out that Tony got it 1 year before I did.
Oh, wow.
So I wrote to him, and we built this friendship. And he's become, somewhat of a mentor to me. And when I check in on him, he checks in on me, and it's a weird thing. 2 years in from this, I'm still affected by it. I have good days and bad. I have good moments in bad days, and I've got bad moments and good days. Every day is different. It's one of those weird things, when the barometric pressure changes and the weather switches, I can feel it in here.
Mhm.
But no, I overall, I'm doing things that they said that I couldn't do. They said, you're not going to do car trips, you're not going to get on a plane, you're not, paddleboarding is going to make you sick. Um, and I've done all those things. And I attribute that, I'm part of a support group, and I'm, so far along in this compared to other people who have my condition, and I attribute that to many of the things that have happened within my story.
Mhm.
So I take that, and I thought, no, like, this is valuable, and this can be applicable to people on a personal level, on a professional level. And there's a good book in this. So I set out to do that, and here we are.
That's amazing too. And how can people get more information on the Ramsey Hunt syndrome, and also support groups, and how can people help with the cause?
Yeah, so I think, people can Google. Google's a great place to go find out about what this is, to learn more about shingles and how it affects you. Shingles, is activated by stress, by extreme stress.
Mhm.
And it's happening with younger people more and more. So you can find out on Google. You can find out, I post regularly on my social media. You can find me on Instagram. I'm Mike Shoreman. It's out there. And I write about, not just my condition, but overcoming adversities in Crash and Rise,
Mhm.
Diaries of the Unbalanced Paddleboarder. And so you can learn more about that in the book. But overall, it's a story of, it's for people with all conditions and all kinds of, difficulties that are being thrown at us.
Mhm. You also talk about the difficulties and other conditions besides the Ramsey Hunt syndrome. What are some of the other conditions that you wrote about in the book? And of course, how can people get inspired? It's like, what are some of the other conditions you wrote about?
So with the book, I've heard it from people all around the world, from my talks. Like, when you go viral and you get millions of views, you're hearing from like hundreds of thousands of people.
Hmm.
And that's, one of the greatest things that has happened, is that it's allowed me to connect with other people. So, people with Parkinson's and people with multiple sclerosis, people who struggle with cancer, have all, contacted me and said, we heard that speech and what it did, and thank you, and this is what I'm going through, and I'm going to take what you've said and apply this to my life. um, but I really write about mental health
Mm.
and the struggle, of mental health when things don't go our way, when we lose our jobs, and when we're going through the big stuff, that life throws at all of us.
Hmm.
So really, at the core of it, it's about, you know, processing and moving through that, and moving towards something new, and making that decision.
Hmm. And of course, with the book as well too, that just basically about the crash and rise, and everything else, and some of the more common ones, people with PTSD, and
Yeah.
of course with the other syndromes going on. And of course, this also applies to the pandemic, and that's probably the most challenging of all.
Yeah, no, I think, a lot of people are really struggling right now. So it's self-help. It's an easy to read format that I think is just there for the everyday person to kind of grab onto, like a life raft,
Hmm.
if you will. And no, it's been an amazing journey so far, and I'm grateful.
Hmm. And of course, in terms of your venture to paddle boarding and everything else, what would you say the most challenging that you encountered when it came to paddle boarding, and how'd you overcome it? It sounds like a fun sport, but then you also run into a number of dangerous situations, and sometimes waves can be choppy and all that. But I mean, you had some great experiences. I love to do that. But what do you consider as like the most challenging you've experienced when it comes to paddle boarding?
So I think the most challenging experience that I've had was getting back on the paddleboard when they said that I couldn't.
Hmm.
So, walking for me, I was using a cane and holding on to somebody at the same time.
Hmm.
And I was in physiotherapy, like I didn't even think that I would ever paddleboard again. So walking on like streets that weren't paved, like with rubble and rocks and stones, that was really hard. So getting on a paddleboard was crazy. And in my head, I was spinning around like I was on a carousel.
Vertigo.
Yeah. And no, that was one of the most challenging, scary things that I've ever done. But it also gave me the confidence that I could do it again.
Hmm.
Which, you know, every win, big or small, it sets us up for our next win.
Hmm.
And it gives us the confidence that we can go to the next level.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, so yeah, but no, paddleboarding is a crazy fun thing. You should definitely check it out.
I certainly will. And after I get done with you, I'll hop on a paddle boat and go to one of the lakes up in North Dakota. Maybe I'll just do it to Canada and come visit you. So we'll do that. So I think that'll be my big challenge right here. And lastly, what are some of the tips that you offer as well too in your book you can share with your listeners or your
Right.
readers, I should say?
Right. So one of the things that I talk about is mentorship and the importance of it. Not, we think of mentors and we think of kids. Kids come to our mind, but everybody can use a mentor. And I think everybody who's struggling right now needs to reach out and find somebody who has, if you're struggling in an area in your life, you can find somebody who has gone through that and you can learn from them.
Hmm. Interesting.
Um, so, so find that person, do your research, and contact them, and then build a relationship, so that you can learn from them. Because when you're learning from somebody else, you progress a lot quicker.
Hmm. And that sounds amazing too. And where can people find the book at?
Yeah, so thanks. So Crash and Rise is available at Amazon online. It's available at Barnes and Noble and Books a Million. And yeah, Crash and Rise, Diaries of the Unbalanced Paddleboarder by Mike Shoreman.
We certainly will look forward to it. And also, what's coming out for the board man in 2021? We'll find out in just 1 minute. Listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by our official sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, international war-ring author Mia Mosensia of Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We'll be back with the board man, the author of Diaries of the Unbalanced Paddleboarder, Crash and Rise, Mike Shoreman, after this timeout. We're back with author Mike Shoreman, the board man of Diaries of the Unbalanced Paddleboarder, Crash and Rise, here on the Mike Wagner Show. And just a few more things, Mike. You've just been an absolute inspiration. I love to hear speeches come out the Bismarck and do a great TED Talk as well. And also just a few more things. What can we expect from you in 2021 and beyond, Mike?
Yeah, so it's been a really exciting year. I've just set up partnerships with paddleboarding companies in 10 cities across North America. So when I'm traveling doing corporate, when I'm doing speaking engagements, I'm now offering corporate retreats
Oh, nice.
in different cities, which is pretty exciting. I'm training right now to be the first paddleboarder with a disability to paddleboard from Canada to the or from the US to Canada. So I'm doing that in August. And I'm doing that for a mental health charity to raise funds and awareness for them. So that's keeping me really busy. And I'm just doing a lot of stuff with the book, speaking at schools and organizations, and just, trying to stay out of trouble.
That's the number one for sure. Staying out of
Number
trouble. Too many people are not saying that, but I'm glad you mind everybody. So I myself, I have to speak too. So
when we keep ourselves busy, we keep ourselves out of trouble.
that's a good point. Very good point. I love it. It's great. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career, Mike?
Biggest influence in my career, I would have to say Chris Burdish, who I spoke about earlier. He he sets big goals and then he works towards them and he crushes them. And I look up to him, and he motivates me
Mm, that's very amazing. I love that. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
to keep going. You're not done. You're we're all going through something, and we are resilient people, and you are capable of, wherever you're struggling, you're capable of coming back from wherever you are.
Hmm. And that's a very good point. Once again, we're with the board man, Mike Shoreman, the author of the book, Diaries of the Unbalanced Paddleboarder, Crash and Rides here on the Mike Wagner Show. Mike, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely inspirational. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date. Love you back on in 2021 and beyond. And before we go, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out the book?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. So people can find me at mikeshoreman.com. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Mike Shoreman dash the unbalanced paddleboarder, because I lost my sense of balance.
Mhm.
Um, can find my book at Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Books a Million, Crash and Rise, and yeah, no, hit me up on social media. I'm pretty active, and tell me hi, and say hi to me, and that you found me on the Mike Wagner Show, and yeah.
We certainly will do so, and of course, me included as well, too. So I'm the first to say hi, and everybody else. So once again, Mike, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date. Love you back on in 2021 and beyond. And don't forget to keep in touch and make sure you paddleboard on your way over and visit. And I'll do the same thing for you. We got to do this again on the paddleboards.
Next time.